Hello, welcome to Channel's Book Club. My name is Olakunle Kasumo, and it's great to be on the show. I was just reading on my phone. It's amazing how the world has changed. And I tend to be old school when it comes to books. I love my pages, my paper. And, you know, it's just amazing. The world has changed. So many e-readers nowadays. And the old-fashioned me when it comes to books is suddenly loving reading from, my phone and my e-gadgets and so on. But don't get me wrong, I'm still, the paper man. I love my paper books a lot. But I was speaking to somebody yesterday and he said, oh, books are going to become extinct. Paper books are going to become extinct very soon. And I said, oh, wow, are you sure about that? Interesting. Pew Research Center did a survey, primarily based in the US. And I need to emphasize that. And the survey says that 75% of adults in the United States read a book in some format over the last year. Read a book in some format over the last year. 75%. I wonder what the figure will be like for Nigeria. Unfortunately, we're not very strong on figures. We need to get better at that. 75% of adults in the United States read a book in some format over the last year. 32% of Americans claim they only read print books. 32%. 33% say they read both print books and e-books. If such a survey is done in Nigeria, I probably will fall in that category. I read both, but more of print books. Now, 9% say they only read ebooks. So 9% only ebooks. They read only ebooks. They don't read paper books at all, just 9%. Now, 23% of the respondents said that they don't read books. 23% don't read books. Now, this survey also, says the global paper books market will encompass around 1.87 billion readers by 2027, while e-reader users are expected to reach 1.2 billion. Wow, interesting. Despite trends towards digitalization, a 2021 survey revealed that 68% of younger readers, that's ages 18 to 29-year-olds in the US, prefer print books. That's amazing. Interesting figures. It would be nice to have those figures for Nigeria. Really, really nice to have those figures for Nigeria. Of course, we're still largely driven by, a lot of us still do print books. Very few people, compared to the overall population, have access to the kind of data you need to be able to read a lot, online. But then, it's all about culture, really. Maybe that will change with time. Anyway, so what was I reading initially before I started going into all that? What was I reading initially? Realizing Mental Resilience. That's the book that we are highlighting this week. Look, this book just blew my mind. It just got me all fired up. You see some books and you're wondering, it seems like I've seen this title somewhere before and this theme is a bit familiar, but you dig into it and start reading, all the examples, all the illustrations, all the statistics and research and everything backing the claims of the author. Fantastic. And I was just fired up. So many examples of people who demonstrated mental resilience and achieved success because of that. This is an important subject, an important topic, and a very fascinating author. Let's get to meet with him and enjoy this.
Tunde Ekpekurede is a management educationist, leadership development and executive coach, and an author. He is an alumnus of the Smurfit Graduate School of Business, University College Dublin, the Lagos Business School, and the University of Benin. He has also obtained several professional certifications, including a certificate in executive management coaching, University of Cape Town, South Africa, 2021, project management, Harvard University, Boston, USA in 2012, personal leadership, Columbia University, 2012, amongst others. Ekpekurede has undertaken several executive-level roles in the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, England, and Nigeria, and is currently the Chief Executive Officer, Learning for Living. He joins Channels Book Club to discuss his book, Realizing Mental Resilience, Unleashing Individual and Team Potentials.
Tunde Ekpekurede. Nice name.
Thank you very much.
You're going to tell me the meaning of that name. Yeah. But nice to have you on Channels Book Club.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me.
So what does this mean, Ekpekurede? I love Nigeria. We're so diverse, so many cultures, so many. It's exciting at times.
Ekpekurede, there's only one Ekpekurede in the universe. And I think for those of us who bear it, when you ask us, the only answer we give, it means large family.
Whoa.
Whether that is true or not,
I'm not sure.
I don't think anybody from Adeje to one remote village of Warri, where the Ekpekurede families are spread.
Oh, wow.
I don't really know whether we know the meaning.
Fantastic. You know, it's just great how diverse we are.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great to have you. Wow. Realizing mental resilience. I've got some questions. This book got me thinking.
Wow.
Really got me thinking. Realizing mental resilience, unleashing individual and team potentials. What's the story of this book? What's the story behind this book?
The book is about resilience. The book is about bouncing back. Now, as humans, we all have occasions, we all run into situations that either get us demotivated or not as motivated as we ordinarily would be. Mm-hmm. Now, but we stay in that condition for too long. Now, but the irony of all this is that we are living in a system that we are not aware of. We are not even aware of how we come about what demotivates us. Now, the first thing we need to deal with is that what this book brings your awareness to, how you are creating the experience that demotivates you.
How you yourself.
You are the one creating the experience.
Not what happens to you.
Not what happens to you.
I'm coming there because that is the most exciting part of your book.
Good.
But what led to you writing this book? What's the story behind it?
Okay. Now, between 2004, when I completed my MBA in Dublin, and 2011, that's a span of about 7 years, I have changed job 8 times.
8 times?
8 times. Now, I prided myself that I was a genius because I got jobs easily.
Everybody was looking for you.
Yeah, everybody was looking for me. But then, after I lost the last one in 2011, I started doing some self-reflection. Okay, I went into my passion, which was training. So I started training. I worked a hospital, Lily Hospital in Warri, signed me for a long-term training of doctors and nurses. Now, in the course of this facilitation, I got to learn more than the people I'm training. It's one of the advantages you get when you are a trainer. You hear this message multiple times.
Yeah, over and over again.
Yeah, it's a bonus that you don't see trainers talk about. But it's one of the biggest advantages of being a trainer. Now, in the course of doing this work, I started learning from the participants. And I found out that there was something wrong in the way and manner I was changing jobs. That it wasn't, when I would think they made me leave, they didn't make me leave. I made the meaning that led to my exit. I remember in one particular class, I was literally in tears. You mean all of this while I boasted that I was a genius, I was just stupid. That there are jobs that I really loved, that I could have stayed in longer than I did, but I wasn't resilient. Now, I explored, I looked for a lot of avenues to see how I could pass this knowledge to people who were taking part in my trainings, because I do trainings with my whole being, really passionate. Now, but Over and over, I explored different knowledge, traveled to the US. I was in New Jersey for 3 days on resilience, and it opened me to a new world. I was in the UK for several retreats on resilience. I came back and I said, no, I need to pass this knowledge to other people.
But I want us to explore this because this is a critical, if not the critical message in your book.
Yeah.
Stand to be corrected. That's
the critical message.
Yeah, that's what I got from reading.
Message.
Yes. I want us to explore it a little bit. You are saying that, and this is very powerful. You are saying that when things happen to us,
yes,
the problem is not really what has happened.
Correct. Yes.
The problem is, or the issue is, the interpretation, which you call meaning.
Meaning.
That we give to what has happened.
The events that have just happened.
That is so powerful.
I'll tell you a lot more powerful. Look, we've worked with organizations where people's potentials are just practically released. There are people who have read the book, Realizing Mental Resilience. A woman in Lekki Phase 1 called me. She was just in chapter 6. And she couldn't really see the reason why she has not spoken to a sister of hers for nearly 8 years.
Wow.
She called the sister by 12 midnight.
Wow.
The pain disappeared. The unforgiveness. Now, you will see in various chapters of the book.
Because she realized that she was given a wrong meaning.
She is the one who came up with the thing called unforgiveness. Or the offense. And the sister may have done something which we call an event, but the interpretation of that event is a unique interpretation. Now, you will see in one of the chapters of my book, I was talking about working in a company, then I was in the Republic of Ireland, and my boss then, who used to stop by my office every morning
I remember that story.
to just greet me, for about a week, he wouldn't stop by my office.
He would just walk to his office.
He would just walk to his office. I started having headache.
You started thinking whether you were in trouble.
Look, I just felt it wasn't up to 2 weeks when he fired the general manager sales. So I just said I was next.
You are next.
The next thing I started doing was throw my CV everywhere. Then when I was sure there was a company that turned down their offer, I placed a call to them. Immediately they confirmed the job and sent me a courier for a new contract of engagement. I now had the courage to go to the boss. When I went to the boss, what's the matter? You've not, like there's something, a strain between us. I was shocked. He's been having a domestic problem and he wants to take leave, he wants to take a leave of absence, and he's planning to hand over the MD position to me.
And you thought that he wanted to fire you because he wasn't coming to greet you again.
Because he wasn't.
You know, this is so powerful, really, and you are so right. Because somebody is not smiling at you, then in your mind you give it a meaning.
You give it a meaning.
You give it an interpretation.
Give it an interpretation.
That maybe there's an issue between you or something.
That's it.
But it could be something entirely different.
Completely different. Completely different. You would look, when some of the conferences I've gone to, you'll see an email. It's just, you set out in the morning to accomplish some task. A phone call all the way from UK to you here in Lagos, your day is set on fire. Somebody asks you, why are you looking this way? You said, my brother in London is annoying me. No, your brother is not annoying you. Where is your brother annoying you? Where, how? It has come to you via thoughts. Now, you process the thoughts. Then you gave it a meaning. Now, nothing in itself has any meaning.
Nothing in itself.
In the world. This is quantum physics. Nothing has any meaning. Now, one of the things physicians have been able to, quantum physics have been able to establish, they did an experiment with electrons, and they found out that when the cathode ray is shot, for every electron that is released, when a physicist walks close to the electron behaves differently. The physicists concluded that it is behaving according to the character and the personality of the individual.
What you're saying here can be applicable to work, career, relationships, health?
Everything. I'll tell you, everything. What is in the book, if you talk about emotional intelligence, the book does more than 200% of what emotional intelligence is. There's a story about two brothers, which I excised from the book, Awaken the Giant.
The same parents.
The same parents.
One becomes sort of like a failure.
Good. One becomes a drunkard on the streets of New York.
Yeah.
And when Anthony Robbins interviewed him, why did your life turn out like this? He said, my father was a drunkard, an alcoholic, who got home 12 midnight every night, beating my mother. He said, how else do you think my life would be? I just became like him. Anthony Robbins said, that doesn't tell the whole story. I know his brother.
Your brother.
His brother is an executive.
Successful executive.
Look, he went to the brother. The brother told the same story, but here was what the brother said. He said, I said to myself, I would never be like
my father.
Now, that is the interpretation he gave the problem. This one gave the interpretation, I would just be like you. Now, here is the power in this understanding. So I work with teenagers now, I work with executives, I work with managers, I work across all the spectrum. I tell children, well, look, if you think your father is responsible for this thing, your father is not responsible. Your father did this, and this is the meaning you gave it. There is no event that has one specific meaning. No, there is none in the entire world. There is not even an event that has 100 meaning. In one of the retreats I attended in London, Dr. Dickin Bettinger, he said the least possible interpretations, 1,000. You chose the unique one.
Out of 1,000 interpretations of an event, you picked one.
You picked one.
And that one you picked is the one making you miserable.
Good.
Wow, this is mind-blowing, honestly.
Yeah.
We don't have time again.
Okay.
We've got to round up. But just quickly, maybe a few seconds. This is connected to what you defined as artificial intelligence.
Yes, yes.
Can you just...
Now, in my book, the way I explained, in the book, the way I explained artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence, you give it information and it creates new outputs based on what you give.
You give what information?
You give it data.
Your mind?
Yes, you give it the way artificial computer.
Okay, yeah.
Different from a laptop.
Yeah.
In artificial intelligence, you give it a set of data and criteria to make new outcomes. Now, between the ages of 4 and 8, when we started observing life, we started coding our subconscious. We started building a robot that we are unaware of. Then when we built this robot, the robot started directing us. Now, building it was a good purpose, because otherwise I would have to be asking you your name every morning. So the robot saved your name for me. Now, we told the robot too, this kind of person hurts me. So every time the robot sees this kind of person, it pulls you. This event, this business that I failed, don't let me. You don't know you are doing it too. I did taxi business some years ago, and every time I heard of somebody wanting to do taxi business in Lagos, don't, because my fingers were burnt. Now, but that is the robot.
That's your mind, your subconscious mind.
It's creating these meanings. Now, but here is the bad part. The robot controls your life 95% of the time.
The things we've already studied there, the impressions, the beliefs.
And what psychologists say, 95% of the time, you are not even in conscious awareness of the response you give to issues. So before you know, I was reading a Professor Timothy of University of Virginia. So a police mistakenly shoots a black man. He made the decision in a split second. But he said to reach that decision, he has been preloaded with racial bias.
Young black people are this way, they're criminals and all that.
So you don't even have the time. Now, many times you go for interviews, sometimes I want to interview somebody, the first thing I do is to debias myself. I just hear the place the person comes from. My mind is already ready. Oh, if he's from Kaduna, this is the way. Now, that is, you're never going to enjoy life that way, letting your AI run the show.
Wow, we are out of time. Oh, my goodness. We could go on and on. And your book provides solutions, options on how to solve this problem, how to reprogram your mind, your mindsets, change your thinking, become mentally resilient, and so on. Wow. Realizing mental resilience, unleashing individual and team potentials. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for the privilege of
I'm sure people can find this on Amazon.
It's available on Amazon. There's an audible copy. It's available on audio.
And bookshops.
It's available in bookshops in Nigeria.
That's a book you need to pick up and read. We need mental resilience, especially in a country like this. We really need a large dose of that. It's a key to success, and without it, there is no way any of us will ever get to the top or stay there. All right, up next, the legendary Wole Soyinka recently turned 89. When I heard that, I said, wow, he's been around for so long, and you just feel his energy all the time, never waned at all. And so you always think he's younger and he's younger and he's younger. But 89 years old, Professor Wole Soyinka, amazing. Well, trust the people around him who love and who cheer him on and who support him. Trust them to put up events to celebrate this man who deserves to be celebrated. Well, a new book, a collection of selected poems by Professor Wole Soyinka has just been launched. We were there. Enjoy this.
Lovers of visual and written art are here for the presentation of Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka's selected poems between 1965 and 2022, and the display of Nigerian legendary artist Bruce Onobrakpea's artworks used in the book.
The first poem I'll be reading today is titled An Anthem to Humanism.
The event witnessed a general blend as young and old participants read from the selected poems.
Swept from painted craft, a mockery of waves remarked this idle sham. I throd on archons, eggshell's detonation, appear the skull's uniqueness. The oak stands 100 more, a kind confusion to arithmetics of death. Time to watch autumn, the removal man, dust down rare canvases.
At the panel session, Professor Soyinka explains the need for effective communication, irrespective of the style of writing.
There has to be communication on one level or the other. So we mustn't expect all art forms to be transparent. Yes, they must communicate. The question is, what do they communicate? Sometimes a work of art communicates a different thing for every single individual.
Also decrying the poor reading habit among the young generation, Professor Soyinka emphasizes the need to bring the reading culture back to life.
Books are the only answer. Books have been given thought. A book doesn't appear overnight. It's hard work. It goes through so many processes. It goes through even a level of criticism before it comes to be published. So take a book. If it bores you, if it's too difficult, throw it away. Go to the library, pick up another one.
Dignitaries at the event speak on Professor Soyinka's style of writing and encourage the younger generation to learn from it.
The message that Prof speaks eloquently to is the depreciation in our collective humanity and how to ensure that we do everything to appreciate what our humanity means to all of us collectively.
He mentioned the idea of people just posting things on the internet. They just hardly finish composing anything and then they posted it and then people are making comments. Let our young ones take their time in putting together their thoughts before they push it out to the public.
Other contemporary writers at the event speak on how Professor Soyinka's style of writing has influenced their lives.
For me, as a poet, his work gives me the inspiration I need to want to do more. At 89, is still writing. At 89, is still publishing books. So why can't I do that? Why can't I do the same?
Professor Nneka's work actually help us like understand what was and what is. Therefore, us to like join them together for us to like write a profitable thing for the future.
Cora Book Trek and Bookcraft are the organizers of the book reading and book conversation.
"89 years old and still writing, still kicking." Wow, that's the dream for old age, you know, to still be kicking at that age. This is where we have to draw curtains on this show. As always, we'll be delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. My name is Olakunle Kasumu. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.